Hi there, my name is rapidpeach. Thanks for clicking on this video and coming around to watch it. So something has been on my mind recently, and that is the best way to come out to your significant other as a part of the LGBT+ community. This can be if you are bisexual, pansexual, trans, agender, non-binary, you name it. There are some pretty good ways to come out and some pretty bad ways to come out. I'm not going to cover the bad ones, just going to stick to the good ones today. Let's get into it. And as I said, this topic is pretty near and dear to my heart. I have come out to my spouse 3 separate times now for 3 different things. The first time I came out to him was when we first met. That was as bisexual, which is how I identified at the time. The second time I came out to him was as agender. If you don't know what agender is, it's just somebody who doesn't experience gender. And then the third time I came out to him was as pansexual. So I have done a lot of coming out to my husband. I have a lot of experience and ways to do it, so that's why I am sharing them with you today. As far as coming out goes, there are a few steps, I think, in best ways to actually go about doing it. So we're going to jump into those right now with number 5. This is a good way to start the process of coming out in a way that doesn't feel too serious. There isn't any pressure on it, and if it doesn't go well, it may be a way that your significant other doesn't even pick up on. And that is through what I'm going to call a game. I don't mean chutes and ladders. What I mean by this is starting a conversation in a way that's rather playful and doesn't actually allude necessarily to what you're trying to come out as. So a way to initiate this conversation, let's say you're bisexual, would be with a game-like question, something like, if you had to sleep with a celebrity of the same sex, who would it be? Or if you woke up in the body of a different gender tomorrow, how would you feel about it? Things like that. They're thought-provoking questions that put the ball into your significant other's court and don't actually draw any attention to you. It gives you the chance to see how they would respond to those kinds of scenarios, and also potentially rate their interest in talking about the subject, or see if there is some kind of red flag that may dissuade you from coming out to your significant other at this time. I personally really like this method. I still use it today, but not to come out, but just for fun. I like these kind of thought-provoking questions, and posing them on my husband is very fun for me. Next we'll go on to number 4. I'm going to call this method putting out feelers. What I mean by feelers is starting to talk about these interests that you might have, and trying to find connecting interests between you and your significant other. So if there's something that you're very into in the bedroom, for example, that might be something that you want to start vaguely talking to your significant other about. For example, if you wanted to, I'm not going to do examples though, because YouTube would not like that. What do you think about the trans community? What do you think about people who are bisexual? These questions give your significant other the opportunity to maybe pick up on the fact that you want to talk about these subjects in a little bit more detail, and they also allow you the opportunity to feel out the situation. If you bring something up and your partner is immediately very strongly against it, you might approach that topic when you are ready to come out to them differently than you would have if you thought that they were completely okay with it. In my opinion, feelers are extremely important, and they do give you that kind of context that you might need later on when you do decide to come out. Next, we move on to number 3, and those are dropping hints. You can do this as subtly or as obviously as you dare. Passing comments while you're on the street, remarking someone that you think looks beautiful, or just straight up saying you could really go for some in your mouth today. Hints are phenomenal for a lot of reasons. If you play them off fun, it could just come off like a cute little snippy joke. Or they might be the big push that makes your significant other realize that there's something going on here. I also dropped a lot of hints with my husband all 3 times. Things like, camera died. Okay. Personally, I have been a big fan of using hints with my significant other. 1, they're a lot of fun for me because I like to be extra daring. And 2, they have been very convenient for me as a way to bring up a subject without directly bringing it up, because sometimes I'm shy and it's just nicer to have him ask me questions because I've hinted at something enough versus me bringing it up myself. Maybe that's a little bit passive, but no judgment from me. Number 2 in this list is getting involved in the LGBTQ+ community. And there are a few different ways that you can do that. I have 3 specific examples. The first one is by making donations to LGBT+ charities or organizations or nonprofits, and making sure that your significant other is aware of your donations to those places. My 2 biggest recommendations are the It Gets Better Project and the Trevor Project. Both of these are organizations that help out LGBT+ youth. They're phenomenal organizations. I encourage you to look into them and donate whenever possible. Another way to get involved in the community is to go to LGBTQ plus events. Those can be pride parades or other pride events. They can be LGBT plus meetups at local bars or restaurants. They can even be hikes in your local area that are specifically for queer people. I know in my area, for example, there are a lot of Facebook groups for people who are queer and really like going on hikes, or really like going surfing, or really like meeting up and going shopping, things like that. So look for those in your area as well. And another way to get involved in the community is what you're doing already, is by consuming queer content and maybe bringing that up with your significant other. If you start telling your partner that you've been watching a lot of pansexual people on YouTube and you're very interested in it, that might be a pretty good hint for them. Which leads back to number 3, hints. And finally, my last big recommendation for the way to come out to your partner is the simplest of all of them. Just do it. Sometimes, in order to come out, you just need to rip off the Band-Aid. I know that this is not always the most fun and it can be quite intimidating, but eventually, in order to live your truth and make sure that your partner is aware of your identity, whether that's your sexuality or your romantic interests or your gender, hi Tiger Cat, hi Tiger Bear, you just need to come out. You just need to do it. You can sit them down, whether that be in a casual setting over a nice meal, and explain it to them calmly and with detail if that's something that you think they need. Or you can wake them up one morning with some pancakes. There are a plethora of ways to come out, and I know that you're going to choose what is best for you. As always though, when coming out, please, please, please make sure that you're doing it in a safe and responsible manner. You don't want anyone else getting hurt, and you don't want yourself to get hurt either. If for whatever reason you think that you're going to be in any sort of danger by coming out, whether that be physical, mental, emotional, financial danger, maybe don't do it just yet. Maybe wait until you have a backup option. I always put this caveat out there when people ask me how to come out, so I just want to make sure I put it here as well. I hope that this video was helpful and interesting for you, maybe a little bit funny. If you've come out to your significant others in the past, please leave a comment down below and let us all know how you did that. I would love to hear some people's coming out stories. Maybe we can lament together, maybe we can all just have a really good laugh. Anyway, that has been all from me. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to go down, leave a like on this video, and subscribe to the channel. About 90% of the people who watch my videos are not subscribed, which hurts me deeply, so it would be really great to have you join our little group here. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I will see you on the internet. Tschüssi!